Let's move into Module 4 on our new owner certification site. Module 3 took you through the steps necessary for many of the basic cleaning tasks that you and or your employees will provide for your customers. A daily, weekly, or monthly cleaning schedule based on the customer's scope of work or the cleaning contract. Module 4 of this session is going to take you through the best practices for cleaning to keep you efficient and profitable, and we'll also go over the safety guidelines in this module as well. This module is going to introduce you to the most efficient approach for cleaning specific rooms or areas at your customers' locations. You're going to learn about the most favorable order that certain rooms should be cleaned, and then key information about that process that will help you cleaning proficiency and efficiency. You'll also revisit and discuss some additional customer service opportunities that could arise. So what will the modules include? Well, section 1 of the modules, as we just said, is going to talk about cleaning efficiently and profitably for you. We're going to go over the priorities of cleaning, what areas to focus on, ways to reduce your costs. And in section 2, we're going to touch on the safety training manual. And then section 3, we'll get into our hazard communication standards. And once you've completed all of the sections, we'll provide a link to the practice exam for you.
Objectives of this module. You should be able to cite the most efficient order in which tasks should be completed to clean in a profitable and efficient way. Hopefully, be able to describe the best method for cleaning in a cost-effective way. You should be able to clean safely and avoid hazards, and then you should also be started to prepare for the final exam.
So let's start with section 1, cleaning the efficient and profitable way.
As a professional cleaner, cleaning involves accomplishing certain tasks based on certain cleaning specifications or scope of work, as we would say, at a certain price. Another way to state this is a certain amount of cleaning for a certain amount of money. So let's look at the ways we can give the customer the service they paid for, and we can do it in an efficient way that gives you the greatest profitability. Your objective, number 1, is to provide the specific services that your customers contracted with at the level and quality that meets our brand standards. And you must accomplish this in a time frame that also allows you to make a profit. In the cleaning industry, the biggest cost you're going to have is your labor costs. So it's important when you do your walkthrough, as you're walking the building, you keep in mind what are potential opportunities for efficient routines as you go through the building. This could be a difference between a decent profit on the account or not a decent profit. Things to look for in creating efficient cleaning routines is give yourself enough time to learn how to use the equipment, where items are stored, where water sources are located, having correct chemicals on hand and properly mixed, lay out of the facility, all things that you are going to go over when you walk through the property. These are the questions you're going to ask. Obviously, in the last module 3, we talked about being prepared, so have the service card stocked, ready to go the night before. Your glass cleaner, your disinfectant, all of your cleaners should be all filled up, ready to go, and they should take care of 95% of the routine cleaning. Be aware of the cleaning schedule, what's for each task, whether it's a nightly service or twice, 3, 4 times a week, or just weekly. Choose the most efficient path and work the room in a circular motion so you don't miss anything, right around to the left. And now, keep in mind, when you're cleaning a new account, the first few clean, it's not unusual for you to spend 2 to 3 times over the normal time. So over time, you become more efficient. So just don't evaluate the amount of time you're needing to clean this facility in the first few weeks of service. Give yourselves 2 to 4 weeks to make sure that you're in a routine and you've identified efficient ways to clean it. So what makes the most efficient way to clean a building? What's the order of cleaning? So the first thing you should do is do the light duty functions of the team cleaning process. So that's trash removal, spot cleaning, and dusting. As you're going and pulling the trash and you're dusting, pull out the chairs so you can get under the tables or desks when you start your vacuuming. The second process is the vacuuming specialist. They should perform all the vacuuming of the carpet areas and hard surface areas in conjunction with requirements in the cleaning schedule. So empty the trash containers first before vacuuming and dusting, because sometimes when you remove the trash, it might cause spills or create dust. And do your sweeping and vacuuming last, and then vacuum yourself to the door, furthest part of the door to the door. That way, if you're vacuuming carpet, you won't be leaving footprints. The third step in the order of cleaning is a restroom specialist. This function will involve cleaning and disinfecting all restrooms, similar with the step process that we outlined in Module 3, as well as the video that you saw for Module 3. Then the last is utility specialist. They'll include all dry floor dusting and mopping when necessary, spot or full wet mopping is needed, if there's bulk trash to be removed to the dumpster, and then they may do the specialty work, the scheduled weekly, monthly dusting of the high vents, fans, things like that, and also the final inspection. As you work an efficient routine, you should always keep in mind areas that may need more special attention because they're high priority areas. For example, entrances are always extra important since where the first impression is when people come into the building. Any glass in the doors for fingerprints inside and out, you should look for daily. Sometimes it's harder at night, so sometimes you might want to have a flashlight with you to shine on the glass to make sure you got all of the fingerprints. Also, the floor at the entrance gets a tremendous amount of wear and tear if people are coming in and out. So you need to make sure you're focused on that. If they've got walk-down mats, great. Maybe you can convince a customer to put down a walk-down mat. Remember, keep in mind the transition from that walk-down mat past the threshold so it's not a tripping hazard. And then the other critical areas, of course, are restrooms where you have the most complaints, executive offices, general offices, and then, of course, conference rooms, which might not get used regularly, but it comes under great scrutiny when they are using that conference room. As you learn your cleaning scope of work or your specifications, look at the blinds. They can easily be dusted with a microfiber cloth or an extendable duster. The mirrors and glass always should be kept spotless. You look for fingerprints on doorknobs, light switches, glass tops, aquariums. But always check your cleaning schedule on how to approach it. But certainly doorknobs and light switches are areas not only have to be disinfected, but they can be a high area of fingerprints as well. When you're replacing trash can liners, make sure that you're emptying the trash each time and you're replacing the liners at least weekly, but maybe more often if there's food in it. Make sure the liners are tied around the trash can and they're completely open so they can be accessible to receiving trash. And then telephone receivers, typically disinfected on a weekly basis. Other mechanical and electronic devices might be dusted with microfiber cloths. Just don't clean or touch keyboards. We do not want to add any kind of click into a computer program that shouldn't have happened. Some tips to get you not in trouble with your customer is do not move any paperwork or materials on the desk. As messy it might look, just leave it alone. Best thing to do is to get with your customer, and maybe there's a day during the week or on a regular schedule that all of the occupants of the office will move paper out of the way so you can dust the whole desk. But we don't touch paper if it's on a desk. We don't throw anything away that isn't already in the trash or clearly marked trash. So if there's something sitting right next to the trash can, unless it's a crumpled up piece of paper that came out of the can, don't throw it away unless it's clearly marked trash. Also, make sure that if there is a janitor closet, that it reflects the organization and cleanliness of you. We do that, and as part of our inspection, we're going to look in the closet as well, so just keep it neat and orderly as well. If your customer goes through there, they're going to see that you're organized, and it's going to be a positive reflection on you. Most of your cleaning is going to be done after hours, so always lock yourself in the building. Sometimes you might not be in a great area, but irrespective whether you are or are not, it's good to lock yourself in the building. That way someone couldn't come in behind you and walk off with some of the customer's properties. You would be responsible for that, so make sure all the time you're locking yourself in the building. If you end up moving something while you're cleaning, just make sure you put it back in its place before you leave. Sometimes you'll take a trash can out and you'll put it to the side. They'll come back in and the trash can's not where they're used it to be. To avoid vacuuming twice, if you're going to be emptying your bag, take out to the dumpster and empty it in the dumpster so that the ancillary dust that comes out of it as you're emptying the bag that is now in the dumpster, not in the building where you're going to have to vacuum it up again. We've gone through this in Module 3 on your final checklist, but obviously turn off all the lights that are supposed to be turned off. And then just before you turn it off, look around the room, make sure that you did everything you're supposed to do, then turn off the lights. And if the door's supposed to be shut, shut the door. Now you know you're done in that room and you move on to the next. Just before leaving the account, do a quick walkthrough, make sure that everything's done, look around, make sure you didn't leave any supplies out, everything's put away, everything's in order. It's all part of your customer relations. Inspect what you expect. If you expect a quality job, inspect it to make sure it's quality. Finally, when you're leaving the building, make sure all the lights are off, make sure you set the alarm, activate it, lock the door. You're taking equipment with you, put it all in your vehicle, recheck the door, make sure you got the key with you in a secure location at all times. And what don't we do? We don't put on the key what building it's going to in case somebody finds it laying around somewhere and they know how to get into a building that they're not supposed to. So reducing your costs, again, labor is your biggest cost. You're going to look at a visual plan of how you're going to travel through the building. What's the fastest way that you can get through without jeopardizing quality? And then don't settle for underperformance from yourself or your employees. Work swiftly, do the job right. You don't want them on their phones while they're cleaning. You want them to focus on the job at hand so you can move through in an efficient manner and keep your labor costs in check. The equipment that is included in your starter kit, and hopefully equipment that if you ever have to replace over time, use the right equipment to help speed up the work process. For example, it takes 6 sprays of cheaper glass cleaner instead of 2 of the recommended cleaner we use to clean a mirror. A backpack vacuum is 2 to 3 times more efficient than your standard upright, so you want to vacuum less, not more. And always use professional products, the most effective way and deliver the highest performance. You may see this on the final exam as well. Other ways of reducing costs, spread out the time between certain cleaning procedures. For example, work with your field service reps and consultants to show you how to workload an account. For example, when making your nightly rounds, add 1 task from the monthly or quarterly duties each week. That way you get it done evenly without getting too far behind at the end of the month where all of a sudden all of your monthlies may need to be done or all of your weeklies or all of your quarterlies. I would suggest laminating your cleaning schedule, put it in a clear plastic sleeve and mark off the task when complete. Make sure that you don't miss any areas. You may want to provide these to your cleaning teams so that they're all set. We have task cards that are a part of your training manual that you can print out and laminate if you'd like in terms of what equipment is needed and what the best process is, but you also then want to equate that to what the scope of work is as well. We've talked about this a couple of times now. Don't waste any time and motion. So work your plan your work and work your plan, which means all of your cleaning chemicals are filled up, ready to go when you start cleaning. All your microfiber cloths are clean. Your vacuum bags are ready. So everything's labeled properly. So if you've got everything done, then you're not wasting any time having to stop in the middle of cleaning and refill up a bottle or run out to the car to get something else. If you come up with great ideas and ways to save money, share with us. Being part of a franchise is best practices. Someone in another franchise might have developed a best practice that we can share with other franchises so everybody's profitability goes up and everyone's more efficient. As you evaluate your customer for the most efficient way to clean, keep in mind 3 different questions. What areas do they use most frequently? What is the first thing they notice when entering the building in the morning? And where do people put their hands? Where do their eyes fall when they glance around a room? You got to understand that. You can understand the areas that are going to be areas you need to have focus on in order to continue to build your cleaning business. So a quick review of priorities. Remember that number 1, restrooms are the critical areas where everyone uses and measures the level of cleanliness. They account for over 40% of cleaning complaints. You might see that on the final exam. I'm just saying. Also, get to know your customer, your contact source. Know where their sore spots are, or call them their hot spots, where they get the most complaints. And if you focus on that, you'll start winning them from the beginning. They know you're listening to them. We've talked about cleaning times before. As most of our customers, most of the cleaning is done in the evening when no one's in the building. They're all at home. But they may specify other times before everyone arrives. It's really best to clean when there's no one around so you can move efficiently. But it might be open 24 hours a day, so it might vary, at least when they're busy. But we should not, as the cleaning service provider, change a cleaning time or date unless the customer is aware of it. And if they've asked you to be there at a certain time, be on time. A lot of times we come in at any time from they close to when they open, but there are sometimes they want you there at a specific time. Part of being a responsible business owner is to be on time, do what you say you're going to do. Again, as a reminder, most of your scope of work will have periodic cleanings, which might be something done at a different frequency, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or as needed. Could be one time. So just know what your scope of work calls for with this, as well as making sure that you've created a chronological order list or calendar of when all these other extra duties need to be handled. You can figure it out whether you need to do it and you have enough time. If you're going to do it as part of a regular nightly, you'll do a little bit of one on a nightly basis, like we talked about earlier, to even it out. Or when you are strapped a little bit and maybe you need to bring another franchise owner in to help you out. If you have any challenge with that, contact us and we will work with you on that.